Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. Album out this Friday, Tory Lanez. What's up, son?
How you doing?
You tired, nigga?
Nah, I'm tired. But
I seen your tweet.
But
I got to sleep in 3 hours. I got to do the Breakfast Club in the morning.
Yeah, that shit was about 3 hours ago. I was at Starlet's.
No, you was out
I think it's a tradition that every time I come here, I go to Starlet's
first, and then come in?
So I just had to do that.
What was happening at Starlet's last night?
The regular shit. You know what I'm saying?
How much you spent last night in Starlet's?
Nothing crazy.
What's nothing crazy to Tory Lanez?
Nothing like $3,000. Nothing.
All right.
Nothing crazy.
This
It was
was
mad
session.
late. It was like literally 30 minutes left. I didn't even get to spend the money.
Okay. Now, sorry for what? Now that your new album. First of all, are you signed to a major or are you independent? Or?
No, I'm independent, fully independent. One Umbrella Records. You know, we distribute through Create, but for now.
And that's how you want it.
Yeah, for sure. I've always wanted to be independent and, you know, be able to touch the money that the labels touch, just being an independent artist. So yeah, 1,000%.
So you prefer the independency over everything?
Of course. It's a lot more freedom. You could do whatever you want, drop whenever you want.
You can't get canceled. You ain't got to worry about somebody telling you what to do or,
you know,
feeling.
you're good. You're able to just kind of move freely. And I think just for me being such like an eclectic artist and an artist who's just like kind of all over the place musically, that's good for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be able to move and do what I want to do musically whenever I want to do it.
Now let's start off with the title of the album. Sorry for what? What is the title expressing and talking about?
I think for me, you know, I've always been a very unapologetic person when it comes down to my craft and to the things that I enjoy and the things that I love. And I feel like when we was creating the album and creating the album title, you know, and listening to the music and how it sounds unapologetic, but it also gives you that like resilience, that standing in the wind when it's blowing, you know, and I feel like it's just about staying tall and, you know, staying true to you and, you know, being unapologetically yourself. So I called it Sorry for What.
Now recently you got into an alleged altercation with an R&B artist, August Alsina.
Look, man, like I said, I'm here to just answer about the album.
We seen the video of him putting his hand out, and you know.
Well, is there an open investigation with the LAPD? Because I saw they said they were looking into it.
Again, couldn't tell you, don't know. But, you know, like I said, I'm here for the album and positivity. I know, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm always here to answer all the questions and stuff, but I'm really just here just preaching positivity today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's been going on in my life and the things that's been going on around me, I just try to keep positive, you know, so. No disrespect, but I'm just not here to talk about.
Just one last question. Now we seen that you walk by each other and he put his hand out. Did you ever knew that y'all had a problem? Because I'm sure if you knew there was a disagreement, you wouldn't have put your hand out.
No, I mean just generally speaking, regardless, I don't have a problem with anybody, and I wrote for him before. It's not one of those.
Oh, so you penned stuff for his projects and
For
stuff
sure.
like that.
Well, for Meek and August, the record they did, I did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why, because I guess he had an issue with the freestyle that you did, talking about the situation.
Again,
and sometimes
I like how we're doing this, but like I said, I'm here to talk about the album. I like where you guys are
let me
going.
ask
It's
you
great.
Tory Lanez changed on
You know
us.
what I'm saying?
do you ever have like, you know, you've been through a lot, like you said recently, and now you're trying to do all positivity. But do you ever feel like if there were people that were not in your corner then, are you forgiving of that as, you know, as time passes?
The thing about it is just like, I can never be upset about someone's opinion, you know, and when there's people who have opinions, it's like whatever they thought at the time was just whatever they were feeling at the time. And I know that, you know, a lot of people's opinions have changed up and down about me, and, you know, it's not of me to be a judge or to be God or to be playing God's role and judging people. I forgive everybody, you know, I don't forget, but I forgive.
So you could work with somebody who might have said something negative about you.
Of course.
And then
I'm about this money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about getting to the money. I'm about getting to the business. I don't hold negative feelings about anything anybody said about me. Like I said, I don't forget that you said it, but not to, you know, to not forgive you is just bitter. And I'm not a, you know, bitter-hearted person.
During the, I ain't say during that time, during this time, of course, you know, people took sides and nobody knows the truth, and I'm sure we'll never know the truth until it comes out in court. Do you look who you work with depending on that? Like, for instance, right, and I'm gonna bring up August Alsina, but not to do with you. But when the thing happened with August, everybody made jokes, right? Everybody talked about it. Everybody threw a line in the rap. But it was the culture, right? Something happens to Angela Yee, something happens to me, everybody's gonna have jokes,
Of
right?
course.
Something happened with you, everybody has jokes. But now when it gets down to it and it goes to that music making process, how do you decide who you want to work with, who I'm not going to work with? Or is it just like, I don't care, it is what it is?
I mean, yeah, like I said, like musically and business wise, like I'm about whatever makes sense, you know what I'm saying? And whatever feels like it's the thing that I should be doing. I don't discriminate per situation or, you know, whatever's going on. I still reach out to everybody, and, you know, some people will be either ready to do it in the moment, or some people won't, or for whatever reason. And sometimes it's not even always the reason that you think. Sometimes it's other reasons, you know. But nah, I don't look at people like that. It's just kind of like, you know, if you want to make something and it makes sense and it's gonna make us money and we can get to the business, let's get to the bag. Why not? You know.
And I was also going to say, when it came to it, you know, you had people picking sides or whatever and not knowing the real of what happened, right? And some of these people you were friends with, you know what I mean?
Of course.
How does that affect your relationship moving on when it comes to it?
I mean, I feel like, at least in my
because
personal,
a lot of those people you've done things for before.
Of course, I wrote in a lot of these things songs.
Like
but I will say this. You know, the way it's painted in the media, you know, they would have you thinking that like nobody fucks with me. But like I talk to everybody that I've spoke to before, you know, and even throughout this, there was moments when it was a little bit more like crucial to go out in public and do certain things because, you know, and it wasn't that people had an issue with me, it's just people didn't want a backlash coming from something that, you know, they weren't involved in or whatever the case is. And I think that just for me, like, I've always been a guy that's been good at kind of assessing the situation and kind of seeing, like, you know, who moves a certain way. And like I said, it all falls down to this. It's like, I forgive, but I don't forget. So it's like, again, I can't base no situations off of how you moved in the past or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And how did you not fold, right? And everybody can say, "Oh, I'm not a fold. I'm strong. I'm gonna stand 10 feet down." But that's bullshit when it comes to most things, right? And the reason I say that is because, I mean, they tried to ban you DJs from playing your records. They tried to, and who knows who they is, but you know, they tried to make sure that your record wasn't spinning on the radio. They tried to ban you from clubs and venues and, you know, performances. So how do you not fold when all that's going into play?
I mean,
because it was a time when niggas was not fucking with Tory Lanez. They was not gonna play the records, and it was that little bit of time. But you never buckled.
I always kind of felt like the world didn't fuck with me before that. So it's like, you know, it's never affected me. But I will take you into my world for a split second, right? You know when you do something fucked up.
But before you do that, you can't say the world didn't fuck with you, right? Pandemic time.
No, I don't
like pandemic.
Yeah, I don't mean like
something in the pandemic that the world fucked with.
Of course,
during that time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a solid like 2-3 months. Which was amazing. Like, you feel me? But I'm just saying, like, just in the overall, like, you know, when like you have a day that something happens on the internet and like you said, you know, a bunch of people will start making memes and laughing and da-da-da-da, and you feel like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. You gotta understand, like, I've learned to live over there. Like, 1 million people that are hating on you, or imagine that for 2.5, 3 years straight. It's like you get to a point where it's like, it's kind of normal for me, like, you know what I'm saying? And I know artists are always like, yo, I'm not scared of the comments, or I love my haters. They see 3, 4, 5, 10 comments saying the same thing. You look at it and you're like, damn, like, as an artist, I need to pay attention to whatever. It's like if you post a picture right now and you got 2,000 comments, but 20 of those comments that are like back to back happen to be like, yo, Envy, your nose is big as shit, bro. You might look in the mirror and be like, yo, is my nose really, really big as shit?
Let me see.
But but over a period of time of 1 million people telling you this every single day, you start to be like, well, if my nose is big, so be it. I'm not tripping on that. You know, you start to accept whatever flaws that people are trying to pick at you, and then it gets to this point where you really actually don't care about like the hatred or whatever the case is. I kind of live over here. I'm not allowed to, you know, live in that place where artists live, where it's like, yo, if I just keep doing something good, and you know the people are just gonna love me and da 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 da. It's more so like whatever I'm doing, niggas gonna hate it regardless, but I'm gonna keep on going. And my mindset is so tunnel vision on that nothing really bothers me.
And I was gonna ask, with the new project and all your music, do you feel like no matter how great the music is, right? How great the record you make, how well it does, it'll always get blocked out from the other stuff?
I mean, for now, while I'm in the situation that I'm in, and for any artist, again, I bring you into my world. The artist, you get to be excited. Yes, I made this shit. Like, this shit is fire. I made that shit. It's like I'm making shit that's fire and knowing like, yo, this is not getting playlisted. This is not going where,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be like, I made this fire, but it'd be like, nobody gonna play.
But here's the difference, right?
Go ahead.
Is that my mind and my hustle and my drive is so deep, and the people around me care so much about us just popping and getting our stuff done that I don't run into situations where it's like, well, damn, this is gonna slow me down. Now I'm like, well, all that means is I just need to do double what the artist is doing. I need to do double the amount of volume to reach what they're reaching, because they're doing it through an algorithmic playlist. I'm getting these numbers now organically. So now what artists are getting from these editorial playlists, I'm actually touching organically. You gotta understand, like, I got 16 point something million monthly listeners on Spotify. When I'm looking at other artists, and I'm talking about like popping artists, when I'm looking at other artists, they don't have the same, it's not even like, it's like half of what I have. But it goes to show you that the volume, the dedication, the amount of times I'm gonna keep striking, I'm not gonna stop. And I'm gonna keep making hot shit. I'm not a one-hit wonder. I'm someone who knows how to make music. So to me, it just gives me extra drive. It's like, all right, cool. I just gotta work triple times the average artist, but that's never been an issue for me. It's like, no matter what you put in front of me, I'm lion-hearted. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Leo. My mom always told me I was a wolf, and she said, wolves, we fight in packs, and at the end of the day, a wolf's always gonna bring it back home to the pack. And like, that's just kind of how I look at it. Like, it's a lot of people who depend on me, my family, my friends, my team, and I always want to make sure that they know that through any weather, through anything, through any storm, I'm gonna bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I kind of pride myself on. Is like, I'm gonna be resilient through anything. And yeah.
when you make music, you got a question?
Yeah, I was. I was going to ask you, you tweeted out that A Boogie was the only feature on the project, but he was also the only person you reached out to. Yeah,
well, and my brother Yoko Gold, he was also the only feature on Daystar, the album that came out. But yeah, they're the only two feature. And I didn't even reach out to him. He was actually recording in a studio that was like across from our studio, one called Camp David, which I used to record all my records in. I still do some time to time. But he was in there, and then he came inside the studio, and I hadn't seen this nigga in mad long. Like, I'm like, Matt, can I get some of this water?
Yeah, yeah, that's yours.
Nigga lips dry as shit.
That's
But I hadn't seen the nigga in mad long, and when I seen him, it was just so refreshing, because I hadn't heard like new music from him and stuff like that either in a while, and just seeing him, he's like, he had a tat on his face. He was like this new guy, like, you know what I'm saying? And he was just so ready to work, and it was so refreshing just to see somebody that in my times of working, who's always been a partner with me, like when we work, just to see him so motivated and just ready to go. It was just like, all right, bet, I'm gonna do this one song with you. I was gonna lead a project like how it was, but I'm gonna leave you on there, and I'm gonna put my brother on there, and then that's it. Like,
I was gonna ask, with your music and your songs, and the reason I'm asking is, with artists now, it seems like every judge, DA, prosecutor goes through their songs to try to connect something. Do you have to be careful what you write in your song, because you're like, oh, they might try to use this and say this is concerning to this, especially for somebody that doesn't know our culture?
I don't really say wild shit in my music like that to that point. I'm more concerned about what I gotta say on Twitter. Like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's another thing. I know, time after time there's There's always a time when a story will come out about Tory Lanez, and then the narrative will be wild. Y'all gotta know, like, as much as I would love to tell y'all niggas a narrative, I can't. I'm not allowed to. I'm in an open case. Until that's done, there's gonna be a couple narratives that you're just not gonna get because I can't speak about them. So it's like, why I don't play around or dance around those lines or try to play with those people over there. It's like, nah.
So when you see a story, like you see some of these blogs that be like, well, Tory said this in the song, he must be advising to this. You be like, oh, here I go again. I'm gonna get in trouble for something that I ain't even do.
Well, nah. I just go, well, there's another story I can't talk about. But I mean, like, all right, whatever the narrative is that they're saying, I gotta run with it, and I gotta wait till there's a time when I can talk about it.
So now that this album's coming out this Friday and you're kicked off the tour.
Hold on.
I'm just joking. I want you to explain it now.
We're not gonna get into this deep, but I was never on a tour.
You did 3 dates.
I did.
That was it.
2 dates.
2 dates.
They called me for the third one, but we canceled. It wasn't enough money. I'm not being funny.
I know the story, right?
And I love rock. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of those things like where I'm trying to disrespect or whatever the case is. But if we're just being like honest, I do real tours. Like I really sell tickets, like for real by myself.
So you did 2 shows.
I wouldn't be on an R&B tour with a comedy thing. I liked the way that they did it. I thought it was dope. Like, yo, you do these 2 shows? I did it. I wasn't really contracted to do
a tour.
Yeah, and it was 2 songs each. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be some
full
set. Like, nah, they could only afford 2 songs. I mean, like, you gotta understand, like if I'm gonna go for 30, 40 minutes, it's gonna cost somebody around $150, something like that. If it's a full set, 60 minutes, it's gonna cost you around two something. You're asking me for, you got 40 grand for me. Like, it's gonna get you 2 songs.
So you did 2 songs. You
like,
it's 2 dates. You weren't supposed to be on the 3rd date, and you're not on that tour. You weren't on.
No,
there's no tour.
I didn't even know that was a tour. I just thought it was a weekend that they were doing. Which again, there's always a time when there's a narrative, and like I said, I gotta watch it and be like, even me, like, talking about it now, I'm not trying to wake nobody up and start something new or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just be trying to stay out the way, like,
Mm-hmm.
Are there ways that you feel like you should move a little differently, being that every time something happens, like I saw the article in Madame Noir, it's like mute Tory Lanez after the August Alsina incident. But do you feel like, okay, there's this like aggressive aura that people are saying this is how Tory Lanez is. And so being that you have some open cases,
there's
what are some things?
There's no aggressive aura about me. There's aggressive narratives that are only told by one side. But there's anybody who really knows me or seen me or is around me is like one of the most gentle, nicest people in the world. And I say that just because, like, I'm a nigga who plays too much. Like, I'm always laughing. I'm always joking around. I'm not a guy who's like just tough and terry. I never portray to be a gangster. I never portray to be a thug. I never portray to be any of those things. I stand on business and I stand on positivity, but I stand on what's right at the end of the day. The difference is, in the last 2-3 years is that it's not that Tory Lanez has gotten more aggressive. It's that stories come out and Tory Lanez can't explain himself no more. Mm-hmm. Tory Lanez is a very outspoken person. I'm very outspoken. I'm always there to be like, nah, no, this is what happened, stop. I'm always there to be outspoken. I'm an outspoken artist, but I'm not allowed to do certain things. Certain things correlate to this and that, and then people that don't need to be looking into this start looking into that and this, and then it turns into something, But again, like, it's not that Tory Lanez has gotten more aggressive. It's that the narrative has gotten more aggressive since other narratives have been aggressive about me. And it's like, let's just pile these on while he can't talk.
I see you still got that Playboy earring on, so let me ask you this.
I'm still a Playboy, baby.
Exactly. But then you have a song on the album, right, where it's called This Ain't Working. And I'm like, does Tory Lanez want to settle down and get married and have a bride? But then you have other songs where you're like...
You seen you picture with some people out and about, too.
But then you have other songs where you're, just being a guy running around doing him and fucking her and her friends and everybody else. So what does Tory Lanez
I'm
really
30
want?
years old. Like, could I not? Could I not?
But I'm just saying, it's 20 songs on the album, so we get both of those things.
Yeah,
Is that something that you struggle with within yourself? Like, on one hand, maybe I want to be
I don't know if I'm like super great with like commitment in relationships.
I seen you in 5 pictures. Now 5 pictures with the same person. It's starting to feel like it's almost a relationship.
I mean, hey. I mean, like you know, whatever. If you got your opinion on whoever you're seeing me with, but I mean, like I'm just talking about in my real personal life. Like, I think that I have an issue sometimes with commitment. I mean,
Why is that?
I think it's hard to find somebody who matches my speed. You know, I'm a real like rock star, and sometimes like the things that I do are just like really spontaneous and da-da-da. I don't think I found like, you know, my person that's like exactly like me. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not, maybe I'm not supposed to be trying to find a person that's exactly like me, or maybe it's supposed to be
You're not
like,
climbing to the top rafters of the clubs performing anymore.
no,
so.
I am.
Oh boy.
Oh, I am. Oh, I am. I just, you know, things change. I do look at, you know, certain things differently, just as I get older, and I do see myself settling down. Though, don't get it twisted. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna be a bachelor playboy my whole life or some wild shit like that. I know I'm, you know, eventually gonna start getting up there, and so my thing is like I just want to find something that's my speed, and I think that, you know, when it happens, it'll happen.
Who was This Ain't Working About then? Because you used a little Lauryn Hill cadence on that X Factor.
A lot of the songs, there's not like a bunch of songs on here that are like all about the same person. I always draw from all of my exes anytime I talk about like toxic shit or whatever the case is, or I always draw from like just things that I went through, you know, with girls or whatever the case is. And so like it's no one specific that I'm talking about on that specific song.
Would you define yourself as toxic when it comes to relationships?
Nah, I'm not the toxic one. I don't ever feel.
That's what most toxic guys say.
You know what I feel like though? I feel like, and all people who've been in a relationship can relate to this in some sort of way. I feel like I have a problem with trying to fix people, and then I end up in some toxic shit, like for trying to fix this person, like, you know what I'm saying, or trying to be with a person that it's like, you know what? I know that they just don't get it because someone never really told them the right way. I'm one of those people, and then I realize, yo, I'm in some wild shit.
Like, give me an
like,
example
you know
of how
saying?
you would want to fix somebody.
No, I just
Like,
feel
give me an
like
example
I feel like sometimes when I meet people who don't have enough love in their life, or they just like lonely, or like super like not confident, like I hate when I meet a beautiful girl who's not confident. It makes me just want to be like, yo, let me just take you out of the town and just show you who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But then you wind up hurting them more because you take them out on the town, they fall in love with the guy, but you're not ready to settle down.
Nah, but you know what I think it is I think in the process of me trying to give that extra arm of support and love or whatever it is, that a lot of times people are not ready for it. And it's like the reaction to it, because it's something that they never got, sometimes is like, you know, it's like a shock to them or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because usually that stems from somewhere, and if you can't work on that and someone's just trying to say, here, this is what you deserve, this is what you need, but you still don't feel that because of whatever happened, there's no way you can accept that.
Like I'm a, what's the word? An empath, where you feel like
feel
what
empathy.
everybody, like when I talk to people, and this could just be regular people too, like even if I see a bum on the street, or if I see a homeless person on the street or something like that, and they tell me, yo, I'm really, they've genuinely give me a story that's like, and I just be like, damn, like I really feel for that person. And I think that be my problem in relationships, is that sometimes I feel too deep into people's like past, and I want to help them change they outlook, but it's like that's some things are just not of you, they're for you know, other people to kind of get over themselves, you know what I'm saying, and for other people to go through themselves.
Do you feel like you're underrated, or you don't get the amount of love and respect that you should as an artist?
I think people would say I'm underrated. I rate myself 10 out of 10.
As you should.
You know, and I think that at the end of the day, as long as I feel that way, the realization of the world will come. There was a time when, you know, I didn't think that I was rated enough to be on The Breakfast Club, or I didn't think that I was popping enough to be here.
You've been there like 4 times, sorry.
I'm saying there was a time. But before my first interview here, you know what I'm saying? I used to be watching this like, yo, when I get to that point, I'll be popping enough to do X, Y, Z. But if I ever stuck on that thought, I would have never got here. So just the thought of like being underrated to me is not a real thing to me. I want to denounce that away from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not underrated. You know, my time is gonna come when it comes, and that's just it.
Gotcha.
You know?
Now, when the Baby did a song with you years ago, you know, people got mad at the Baby for doing the song.
Mm-hmm.
Then he released a song, The Boogeyman, recently, and now, you know, everybody hates the Baby again. What was your thoughts when he releases music and he talks about his life? Because people do it all the time.
Everybody hates the Baby?
Well, they're upset with him for a record he released.
They envy Messy today.
I'm just asking some questions, that's all.
I don't think everybody hates the Baby. Mm-hmm. I think again, that's the way that they paint things. And I think that, you know, you got to realize that there's people out here that spend money to push narratives into your face and make you feel a certain way. If I spend $10,000 on a post and I'm a major label, or if I'm a major corporation and I spend $100,000 on a post, that's like, yo, this guy is wrong. Over a period of time, you're going to be brainwashed. You keep seeing that shit, you're going to think, like you said, well, everybody hates this guy. Everybody doesn't hate that guy. Everybody doesn't hate whatever person they're saying. I feel like when you go outside into the world and you see how people react with you, there's a big difference between the internet and people. And like, there's a ratio thing that I always do, and I think that the world needs to do when you start thinking that everybody hates somebody. You need to look at the ratio of the numbers, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of artists, you'll get maybe, let's look at the artist like the Baby, since you brought him up, right?
Yep.
I see he'll post a picture, get, say like maybe 500,000 likes on something. And let's say it's one of those days where, like you're saying, someone's upset at him. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of comments are in his comments. He'll probably have like 3,000, 6,000 comments. Maybe 1,000 of those or 500 of those are like, yo, fuck you, da-da-da-da-da, whatever they're saying. But then when you look at the ratio, it's like, yo, 500,000 people like this picture.
Right, true.
1,000 of them niggas is talking shit. Who really is greater? That's why it's like I can't go off of, yo, everyone's saying that. No, everyone's not saying that. A couple of comments that you've seen are saying that. Gotcha. Go out into the world. It's a big place.
Now, aside from music, what are some other things that you are dipping your finances into?
Man, I don't want to fully say it, but I am definitely in the medical field now in a major way. And I think in a major way that's going to affect our culture and our community just for years upon years and generations after this.
How did that happen?
When I was in this situation that I was in, I started looking at things like, you know, if they were to ever be able to take this from me. Well, just in case, you know what I'm saying? Just in case, let me make sure, you know, I'm being smart, I'm being an entrepreneur. And it woke up this energy in me that I've never experienced before. I think one of the greatest things that I did, you know, I own Taboo with Corey Todd and Shamara Todd from Jamaica. I don't know if you guys ever been to Taboo in Jamaica, but it's like, you know, the biggest club in Jamaica. There's 3 of them in the West Indies, and then we got 2 of them in Miami. So the 2 in Miami.
You were singing about Taboo on the album.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, that's the hottest club in Miami. I'm not even saying that because I'm here. I promise you, like, you know what I'm saying.
They told me you come all the time. You
it's
DJ
literally
for a little bit. You chill for a little all the time.
And you know me, I'm not going anywhere doing it, but the vibe is just so great. Best food in the city past 11 o'clock. There's nothing to eat out there. Like after a certain period of time, so it's like you gotta depend on which club's gonna be right for you. We got the best food in the city, and there's 2 of them. So there's Taboo Miami and Taboo 826. And I own both of those with Corey and Shamara. So that's another thing that we were doing. It's just it's a lot of little different like little business plays and stuff like that. But ultimately, you know, I care about the music. That's my first love and, you know, the most important thing to me. So, you know, I'm always on that. Oh, also, I'm doing this TV show too.
Okay.
I've been shooting this TV show.
What's it about?
It's actually based off this song that I had called Pieces, and it's like a story about a girl who got raped by her uncle, and she turns into the street, and like a lot of different stories that kind of come into one as like different pieces of the story. But I just wanted to be able to do something that was dope and show off my acting skills. Cause I got tired of like not getting the roles for some of these big films. Like I would be like auditioning for.
Were you audition?
Yeah,
What's the biggest role you auditioned for?
I was auditioning for big stuff. I did the I almost got the role for what was it, King Richard, the Will Smith movie.
What part?
For the I was supposed to be the aggressor, the dude who got shot up at the corner store.
Okay.
Okay.
They had me read for his parts, and every time I've done it, like Power, I was supposed to do Joey Badass part.
Okay.
He does an amazing job in that role.
No, he does. He does an incredible job. But like that type of character, every time I've always like read, I've always gotten called like multiple times back.
You might need to play a nice guy or something to change this whole narrative. You might have.
I mean, art is art.
Cop, maybe you should play a cop.
Art is art. You know what I'm saying?
To go in there because it's like you're accomplished.
No.
Now you're going in front of people, and you're no longer Tory Lanez.
I look at things that exact way. I'm not Tory Lanez. I don't expect no special treatment. But because of that, I always had incredible self-tapes. Like, incredible. They brought me back for that part about 3 times. Don't get it twisted.
Which one, the Power one?
Yeah, they brought me back. They made me talk to the main lady and like, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I said, I feel like my time will come. You're going to see me on the screen and be like, yo, I ain't going to lie. He could have played that role too. But my thing is like, like I said, like the time will come and like everything that I never got, I always just taught myself how to do. Like when they told me, I'm not singing on your song because you're not a big enough rapper, I taught myself how to sing. I sucked at singing before. I taught myself how to sing. When a video guy wouldn't shoot my videos, I taught myself how to shoot. I taught myself how to edit. When a producer wouldn't produce my music, I taught myself how to produce on Fruity Loops. When they wouldn't record me, I bought Pro Tools and learned it myself. So when they told me I'm not gonna get the role for these Will Smith movies and these da-da-da-das, I'm going to do it myself.
Okay.
So now I'm on set playing 5 jobs, being director, editor, and actor. But the hard work is gonna pay off because at the end of the day, I believe in myself, bro, and I believe in anybody around me. You know what I'm saying?
So you're already filming this? You've already started?
Yes,
okay.
I got 9 minutes of it. I'll show it to you when we get off the, you know what I'm saying?
And would you want to sign a major label deal if somebody came at you, or are you feeling like you're making too much? I know you've said that, but have things changed? Somebody might come at you with some type of partnership.
I remember they offered you a wild check a couple of years ago.
They offered me a wild check, but y'all got to understand, while everybody was saying like, yo, who's gonna sign him and who's gonna? Y'all gotta understand that year. What was that? 2021. It was 20 or 21. 2020. 2020. It was the end of 2020. I signed probably the biggest deal that year, like as far as just distribution and on a distribution independent arm, like shit that no one's seen. My shit was $18.7 million that I signed for 22 months of distribution, not of major label obligations of distribution. I don't need to play this game with y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to play this game with y'all because I'm silently gonna do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never like, yo, let me break down a gem for y'all real quick.
Go.
And for any artist, they really need to hear this off this show, right? Look at this. When I was with Interscope, right? And I want artists to really pay attention to this. When I was with Interscope, and we made music, let's say I didn't drop music for a solid year, a year and a half. Tory Lanez solidly, or whatever it is, made sure that his streams were about 3 million streams, like with all the music, 3 million streams a day. Off 1 million streams, an artist gets $5,000 to $6,000 every Friday or every other Friday, right? So that means that when I wasn't dropping shit and I was at home, some label was sitting on their ass collecting $15,000 a day off of Tory Lanez music. But that music, if it was made by me, then I would be sitting at home scratching my ass fucking making $15,000 a day. If I'm popping and I'm making songs, then I'm probably gonna do around like 7 million streams, 6 million streams a day, right? Just with all my music in general. Let's call it 5 million streams. Let's just say that, just to make it easy, right? That means that someone's making $25,000 a day off of my music. So in 4 days they made $100,000. Like, guys, let's do the numbers, guys. Like, how long are we gonna let this shit just rape us? Like it.
Do you think, though, without Interscope, you wouldn't be as popular as you are? Because sometimes people
First of foremost, I want to let y'all know this. I love Interscope for everything that they did for me. Because at the end of the day, they are the people who take the chance. But I want y'all to know something right here, right? It's that moment when a label comes to sign you that you're usually really popping. You're popping enough that people are looking at you and they're probably starting to kind of pay you for things. And they get you at that point, and usually artists sign for 4 to 5 albums. And when you sign for those 4 to 5 albums, by the 3rd album, we don't want to really hear you no more because we heard everything that you got to give. It's very rare for artists to be able to get out of that situation in the first place. But then to get out of the situation and still be relevant enough to go independent, you're never going to have it. So all of your best songs are made during that period of time. All of our favorite artists' best songs are made during, like, unless you're like, the Drakes and the people who really went on longer, but like a lot of our favorite artists who didn't like go far, but they're like, I just love that album or I love that artist. Their best songs came out in the majority of time that they were with the label. So all that money of all that creative stuff that you're doing, it just went straight to a label. Now at that point when you're about to sign, you're popping enough to just keep going. It's just, you just gotta learn how to use everything that the label uses. The label doesn't hire people that they employ or whatever the case is. They outsource people that you can employ.
Right.
And once you learn that, the world is yours.
But so I guess some people might be in financial situations where they're not. But like you said, if you're popping enough, then you should have money coming in.
You're in a financial situation because you're not independent.
Right.
All of that money, it doesn't matter. Now, when I break it down, and I'm saying, $1 million a day or 1 million plays a day is this much money, that doesn't mean that Johnny over there from the Bronx is gonna make that. Maybe he might get 50,000 plays, but that's gonna equivalate to whatever it equivalates to, and he's gonna get that every Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna come to his pocket every Friday. It's gonna land in his bank account faithfully like a job. And all Johnny from the Bronx has to do is keep dropping music, and it's gonna keep stacking. So why would you not save your best songs and your best stuff for that moment?
For yourself.
In that moment, you're gonna make all that money. It's just that artists don't understand how much money there is out here. And that's why it's like, I've always been one to kind of take those steps for people. Like, it's times that I can't do certain things and I'm not able to do certain things, and I gotta call on people that, will help me do certain things and help certain things. Shout out to my Uncle Speedy too, you know what I'm saying? That's my dog. He's helped me through a lot of this and just this independent route and taking it there. But like, anything that you can't do, you can learn how to do. And if there is somebody who can help you do it, you can outsource them and pay them the same money that the label is paying. It's not really expensive. And then think about it. You're an artist. This is for artists signed to the label. You're an artist. You're already signed to the label. You're doing shows, you're getting money. Start looking at your money and realizing, like, fuck me buying this chain right now. If I take this $100,000 and I put this into this department, and find out who these niggas are hiring, the guy in the digital department doesn't cost $20,000. He costs $3,000 to do whatever it is that he's talking about. The guy on TV costs $7,000. The guy on, it doesn't, it's things you can put your money into that's gonna really change your life. And as an artist, you got the money to do it, so do it.
Sorry for what? Are you good at apologizing?
If I have to, yeah. And I know when I need to apologize. I'm not a dickhead. I'm not somebody who, can't apologize or like doesn't know when he's wrong. Like, I know when I be wrong, and when I'm wrong, I can take up for it for sure. And
I gotta ask this. How's your hair holding up?
I was gonna say, you gotta apologize to our camera guy. You threatened us last time we met.
I do apologize to you. You know what I'm saying? He got the crazy one, like, yo. But because I was so sincere when I was telling him, like, yo, you come over that camera. Nah, but all up. Nah, but it's good. I'm actually, what's crazy, Angela? Like, I'm trying something brand new right now, and it's not into full form for like formentation, but
It's not in full form yet.
But for a long time, guys, right? We've always been like, yo, Tory, the guy, what da 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 da.
Right.
Hey, the guy with the hair and the da 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 da. For a long time, I've been dealing with these things, but I've been dealing with them for a reason. Because I am gonna be what is like the messiah of black people and colored people getting their hair back.
So is this the medical
Check this
thing
out.
you're working
feel
on?
me. Just feel me
I ain't
for
gonna
a
believe you
second,
take
bro.
your hat
Can y'all
off.
feel me?
But you're not ready to take the hat off.
My hat. I'm not in a good hair day right now.
right.
I still need to brush my. I woke up and just came here. But look, check this out. I'm gonna grow my hair, right? I promise you. But I'm doing it with a product that I've created. Like, you know what I'm saying? I talked to the African ladies, the Haitian ladies,
The African
Castor
the
oil.
Dominican ladies,
Okay.
everything. And I've learned that all of the things for your hair that you need, like naturally for your hair to grow, are in the earth.
All right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's really just a concoction that you create in order for, you know, for an elixir for your hair or for things that need to grow. I promise y'all, I don't know the name for it yet.
It's a game changer.
But I promise you guys, I'm coming back with the with the cream and the stuff that's gonna make your hair come back, and you're gonna know it's authentic because y'all seen the patch head, y'all seen the shit that I had to go through. You feel me?
Right.
If
And
you-
it'd be good for our edges too. I know you like
The
women
edges,
with
everything. That's the whole thing.
If it
You
works
gotta.
for you and works for Charlamagne, I'll believe it.
It's gonna work for Charlamagne, and that's insane.
because he's tried
'Cause,
everything.
yeah, he tried everything. He got like the RoboCop.
I got him.
Goes here, like the George
Nah,
Jefferson.
I got him.
Okay.
I got him. And you know what else is crazy? That's another thing I wanted to say on the medical side. The doctor that did my hair originally and showed me like, you know, yo, you can do hair restoration and stuff like that. I'm actually gonna team up with him, and we're gonna bring hair restoration down to Miami to the medical stuff that I was telling you about.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll be like one of the first hip hop artists to bring hair restoration, like in real reality, like with the machines and the doctors and actually, like help people really get their edges back without the cream and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The
Oh,
cream will be
man.
secondary. You feel
This is
me?
a game changer for a lot of you guys out
I'm
here.
trying to tell you.
It's like a BBL for men, like you said.
Shut up, man. Sorry for what is out tomorrow. What you want to play? What you want to get into?
I don't even know. Just
GP
play
is
whatever
the
you
single.
want.
What you want to get into?
Whatever you want. Play the A Boogie one, the one bro call with A Boogie.
Okay, well, let's get into it right now. It's Tory Lanez. We appreciate you for joining us. The album's out tomorrow. Thank you, brother.
All love. Thank y'all.
And it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.